There is another very interesting question which has come up from Deen Dayalan, who runs an organization to serve the grassroots level employees. So he's asking that your heart is rural India because you have launched this mission Samriddhi, which is to bring design thinking to serve the villages of the country. Can you talk a bit more about that? And can you talk about how can you bring migrants back to their roots, which they may have learned something in the urban cities? And how can they create more value in their own villages? How can they use design thinking in the rural areas? And how can they learn? So tell us a bit about Mission Samriddhi and your endeavors, and maybe Deen Dayalan will then get a deeper perspective of what you're trying to do there.
Important question. I think when we look at design thinking in corporate world and the product world, next challenge for me was that in 2016, when I visited poorest area, Yavatmal in Maharashtra district, where most of suicide happened. So we around 15 people visited on 9th of May 2016, Yavatmal and from Wardha, where we visited a Gandhi place there. And suddenly we found that there's so much is required in the whole space of understanding the rural India. And I was so incompetent to even talk about rural India in 2016. So first acknowledging it that I don't know what I don't know. And that's where the journey begins of learning that we need to learn. Then where to learn from? We said then we found there are too many small NGO efforts are happening, non-profit efforts are happening in the country. Let's understand and make them guru for us. So we collected almost 100 such organizations which are working at a national level and bring them into a common platform called Samriddhi platform and learn from each one of them. So in this process, we understand the whole landscape of rural India. Rural development has got 7 dimensions of it. First dimension is the personal dimension itself of the rural India. When you ask migrant worker, I think problem is much more deeper. We have 900 million people live in rural India. They themselves can have a $1 trillion economy. But this 900 million people we are imitating urban models and putting in rural India. We are not originally creating their own models of development. So first is a personal development, their own belief system. A sarpanch in the village is a CEO of the company. He runs a village of 5,000 people. I am as a company CEO runs 5,000 people. What is the difference between me and him for who is running the village versus Arunjan who is running in a corporate world? Because both of us are responsible for the earning potential of 5,000 people in the group. So my responsibility and my purposes are not different. But what is the skill set difference? Did we set up a IIPM, Indian Institute of Panchayat Management, like IITs and IIMs? If we created a capacities 50 years back for engineering and management, we never created a capacity of learning for the Panchayat management. Gandhiji might have said something in 1940s, but after that, nobody paid any attention to it. So this is a root problem is how we look at the rural India as a beggar, as a low-end part of the work. So their self-image of rural India is subordinated image. On the other side, we are saying we need to build up an image of a powerful self-image when we want to create a belief system. So it has to start from personal development. From there, we need to get into social development. From there, we need to go to economic development. Jumping economic development by giving a subsidy is giving an antibiotic to the patient, which may solve the problem for the time being, but underlying problem solving doesn't happen on this. So migrant labor issue, we may have some immediate short-term belief system, but first of all, we have to change our mindset. We need to have all the HR professionals of urban India. I need their help. If they can adopt a village and change a mindset of a one community of self-belief and self-doing. And we have seen those models in Jharkhand, we have seen those models in Maharashtra, we have seen those models in UP, where self-image is getting changed. And those self-image, as soon as we change, these migrant workers are very good activators, because they are like what we were migrant labor as a IT professional. We were also migrant to US, and we came back from US and India. So there's no difference between the people of IT industry who went to America, came back and started IT companies. Similarly, this migrant labor who went to Bombay and Delhi, when they come to the villages, they can start the similar kind of businesses in rural India. They have to provide that kind of a confidence that they can bring a difference to them. And that's where a lot of role urban community has to give them a confidence. Main hoon na.